So here is the group project manifesto. Okay. These are the things that you need to be considering as you put together your arguments. So when in doubt, use the manifesto. Okay. This is if you can you go on your own, sure. But I know this is tried and this is true and this will work well to get through a complicated group project. So here are the rules. Remember, you are arguing a solution to a problem. Okay. I'm going to fix that while I'm dealing with it. You are arguing a solution to a problem. Do not get carried away with your context. This is one of the problems that lots of people do in their projects. Let's say I'm doing a project on should the United States have responded differently to the Holocaust. The mistake people make in that project is they spend 4 minutes talking about and the Holocaust was bad. But that's not what that's not what you're arguing. You're arguing what could the United States have done differently with the Holocaust. So set the context of the Holocaust quickly. Do that in the first minute. Set that context. The Holocaust was bad, and here's why it was bad. And here's what the United States should have done. Okay, but don't be spending 5 minutes on context person, because this needs to be, and here's what the solution is. All right. So don't get carried away with that. Spend roughly a minute on your context. Okay. When you're practicing, that if you can't get the context done in a minute, then you need to why we're putting too much into this and we're focusing too much on the wrong thing. Context is important, but don't get carried away with it. At the end of the context, introduce your solution. This is the solution. Okay. In the world, in the United States, we have divisive politics. We're impeaching a person who's not even president. We have both sides throwing stones at one another. Both sides are hypocrites. And the solution to the problem is Ron DeQuattro should become dictator of the world. And now we're just going to spend the rest of that time period arguing for why DeQuattro should be dictator of the world, not going back to what the problem is, but going back to how your solution deals with the problem. Okay. Everyone needs to speak at least twice during the body of the argument, not in the introduction, but in the body. If you're looking for a format, again, think of the 5-paragraph model. I'm going to spend a minute on context, which is my opener, concluding with my thesis. I'm going to spend a minute on my conclusion. By me, I mean the group. And then I'm going to have 3 main ideas I'm going to spend roughly 2.5 minutes on. 2 to 2.5 minutes. Everyone needs to speak twice in the body, minimally. Okay. So if that means 2 people speak 3 times because someone's doing the introduction and someone's doing the conclusion, and 2 people speak twice, that's okay. You need to be roughly speaking the same amount of time. Doesn't have to be perfect. Okay. Don't worry about only speaking on your lens. This is a common mistake, and it's a big mistake. If you only speak on your lens, then you're only going to speak one time, and the paper is not going to flow. Because if we're dealing with the political issues of Ron DeQuattro becoming a dictator of the world, if only the person who had the political end speaks, there's not going to be room for other people to interject. And that doesn't work. So after you've read each other's papers and after you guys have discussed solutions, there's really not a reason why you should only speak on your lens. This is a common mistake. In fact, in many ways, holistically, the best presentations as a group are the ones where I don't know who did which lens. You've now learned so much, and there's been such a thorough discussion of the issues that it's just become homogenous now. Okay. Embed your limitations and the alternative solutions in the presentation. Do not save this for the end. This drives me insane, and you would never do this in the real world, where you'd spend 3 parts of your presentation talking about our solution is great, our solution is great, our solution is great. And then at the end go, now here's the problems. And you're leaving that as the last thing I'm thinking about. Embed the issues. So if you're doing the political issues of Ron DeQuatro becoming dictator of the world, talk about some political limitations in that part as well and address them. I mean, one day he's going to die, so what are we going to do then? All right. So, embed limitations. Don't save for the end. I hate those. I hate those. I hate those. Hate those. Capital H hate. Okay. Practice, practice, practice. Especially on the group presentation. You have to practice. Okay. And remember the golden rule. You will present faster than you practiced. It happens every time. I've never had a person who in their practice, like our group practice, and we were like 9 minutes every time, and then they went overtime. Nerves happen, speed happens. You're going to present faster than what it says. If you guys in your practice are going under 9 minutes, you need to add stuff. Because that 9-minute presentation tends to be like an 8:30. Really, truly, if in your practice you're at 9:30, you're in kind of the sweet spot. Like that's kind of where you want to be. So use your slides. Your slides are not wallpaper. What should your first slide be? And what is the title? Not the question. Not the question. The solution. Your papers were the question. Your presentation is the solution. So the title to my slide should not be, what do we do to solve the American political crisis? It's Ron DeQuatro should be dictator of the world. Okay? Because when the first thing I see is your solution on your slides, like, okay, I know where we're going now. I see where we're going. That's actually a very powerful thing. In our next few classes, I'll show you some more sample group presentations, and over and over and over again, they think that it's clear what they're arguing for, and you're going, I have no idea what they're arguing for. And it's like 5 minutes before they start arguing a solution. When you put that slide that has the solution as your start, like that visually helps. Okay. Again, if your group needs structure, think 5-paragraph model. Think opening, closing, 3 big ideas. That might mean that one person's lens, it gets almost entirely cut out. That's okay. It is. But also think about where lenses overlap. Because sometimes economics and politics overlap. And that makes it very clear what 2 people in your group should probably present there. So think about how your lenses overlap. But that idea of the 5-paragraph model, it is a good model. It is a good system to use if you're looking for structure. So do not turn your video back on, but if anyone has questions, put them into the chat and I will read them. or you can just speak up, either one. Any questions? All right. No questions. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Let me